Hello everyone, welcome to the Cloverdale Colts U18A2 highlight show. This is the last game of the regular season for the Colts. They'll be taking on the team from Richmond, the Richmond A1 squad. This is the second time these teams have met. They met back in November with Richmond winning that game 8-5. Colts are in a bit of a funk, having lost all 7 of their games since the Christmas break. The last 5 of which were essentially 1-goal games. A couple games there with a late goal or an empty netter that stretched to 2, but essentially 1-goal losses for the Colts. So they've been getting close, but haven't been able to pick up a victory. So here in the last game of the regular season, their spot in the standings assured, no chance to go up or down. So they're just looking to enter the playoffs with a win here tonight. The Colts will be down 2 players for today's game. Tyler and Trevor unable to play tonight, but they have called up Nolan Thornley from the A3 team to help out on the forward ranks. Max gets the start in net, and otherwise the full complement will be playing. So let's head to the first period. As has been their way, the Colts get off to a good start. Here's Jackson. He's going to pull that around the net. Has an empty net to slide it into, but looks like that wraparound hits the post and stays out. Here's a play down low. Riley blocks that pass, or maybe it was a shot, but either way, moves up ice with it, passes it up to Nolan, who's driving hard wide, and he finds some space on the short side. Called up from the A3 team to help out. He gets the first goal of the game for the Colts. They're off to a 1-0 start. So here's Richmond looking to equalize. They get this puck down low, make the pass back to their original player, and he's going to cut towards the front of the net, slides it towards the net. Max does make the save, but as this puck is pushed down towards the corner and Carnveer goes in to play that player, he checks him from behind into the boards, and that's 2 minutes for boarding. Richmond was unsuccessful on that power play, but they continue on the attack here. See that player up high, pass out to him, gets the shot off, goes over the net, but Richmond's going to retrieve that. 2 Colts in the area, but the Richmond player gets it, and then he's going to bring it out front, try to stuff it in, but Max stays tight down low and keeps the puck out. So here's the Colts on the forecheck, trying to get the puck back, and they eventually do, and they put that out front to Jordan. He's got a great chance of right in front, but it appears to hit the post and then bounce out on the left side. It's going to come back to Bryce, and he's going to get another shot that tipped on net by Arjun, but punched to the corner by the Richmond goalie. Here we see the Colts clear the zone, but because Lyndon Fraser played it back into his own zone, that Richmond player remains onside, despite what some of the Colts defenders thought. They felt like that was offside, but because the Colts had played that in themselves, it is onside, and Richmond ties this game up at 1. And now they're looking for a second one as this shot towards the net gets tipped on net. Max does a good job to make the save, and then Patrick knocks down the player before he can pick up the rebound. Here's Zach on a rush, trying to get the puck towards the net, and he's going to get tangled up with the Richmond players and gets knocked down when Seth knocks down the Richmond player. But as he's getting back up, he piles on top of that Richmond player. Referee sees it. That's going to be a roughing penalty for Zach, so to the penalty kill. But the Colts are going to get the good chance on this penalty kill. They're going to come in 2-on-1. Puck's going to bounce out. That's a shot by Noah, and it bounces just past Nolan, looking for his second of the game. But the power play for Richmond continues. First, Bryson makes a block of that pass, but then there's another shot that just misses on the tip attempt. Richmond trying to put the puck back towards the front of the net, and so Bryson's going to have to go to work against 2 defenders. He does end up coming up with the puck, can't get it out though, and loses it towards the front of the net, and then has to haul down that Richmond player to make sure that there's no scoring chance there. So that's going to put the Colts down 5-on-3. We see Richmond moving it over there for the one-timer, but Max comes across and makes a save. The 5-on-3 does continue, and that puck goes just about outside the line. So Jackson goes racing out there and can't quite get a hold of it, and calamity happens. There's a shot. Rebound comes out. Max is looking in the opposite direction. It's there loose in the crease for that Richmond player to put home, and Richmond with a 5-on-3 power play goal is up 2-1. And the power play continues. It's 5-on-4, and now here's a 2-on-1 that's going to turn into a 1-on-1. And that player goes around the horse and tries to drag that puck around front, but Max puts the leg down and makes the save. Here's another opportunity for the Colts to get it out. Jordan can't quite get it out. Another play at the line that turns around, and another good chance the other way, but this time the Colts avoid giving up a goal as Max makes the save. So they finally have killed all those penalties off, and now it's a chance to go back the other way. And as Zach tries to split the D, the puck gets knocked off his stick, and then he gets his hands and stick up in that player's face. And then number 10 for Richmond comes in late to hit Zach. So it's going to be 2 minutes for each of those 2 players to keep it 5-on-5. And the Colts are going to turn this puck over at center, and they're going to head on the way in. And there's a light little slash across the stick. Probably not any worse than the one that just happened there at center ice, but it's still going to be a power play for the Colts. So here they are late in the period working on the power play. They put this puck over to Jackson. He's got some space coming in from the far side. It's a bad angle, so the goalie does make the save. And speaking of goalies, let's have a look at this neat little spinorama move by Max as he makes a nice breakout for the Colts so they can head up ice. The penalty parade is going to continue. There's a slashing penalty right there by Patrick. And as that Colts player, Linden, I believe, is touching it down low, he gets run into the wall by the Richmond player. So that's going to result in a roughing penalty for Richmond for that play after the whistle. So it's going to remain 5-on-5. Colts are going to have it deep in their own end, and there's going to be a turnover that Mitchell's going to push up ice. Seth is trying to pull away. As you can see, the clock winding down on this period. He goes behind the net, throws it out front to Jesse, who's alone in the crease, bangs away at it. One shot, two shots, eventually it goes in. And a super eventful first period with just a few seconds left in it. A lot of penalties and 4 goals. It's now a 2-2 game. And as we move to the second period, we see the Colts continue on the attack, try to get the lead in this one. Puck goes around behind the net. Neat little behind the legs pass from Jesse up front to Arjun. Gets a shot up on the short side, but it's saved by the Richmond goalie. Colts continue to attack, but then it hops over Orson's stick. And as he's about to lose the race to that loose puck, he's forced to haul the Richmond player down. So it's on to the power play once again for Richmond. They're going to work this around. They're going to try to drag it to the middle, and it's going to get turned over. And as Seth is trying to escape with it, he gets hauled down. So now it's 4-on-4. There you see a point shot by Patrick. And Richmond's going to take the puck out of their own zone, cut through the neutral zone, and the Colts defenders have their gap way too big, allow that player to walk all the way into the dot and get a shot up high on the glove side, picking that corner. And now it's back to a Richmond lead. It's 3-2. Well, the scorekeepers are going to get their money's worth in this game, as there's another penalty here on this play, an interference call on the Richmond player, as that Colt was trying to get around them to go get that loose puck. So here we are on the power play. Colts again working from below behind their net. They're going to try and get this out, but they're going to turn it over, and it's going to go back the other way, and Max is forced to dive out and prevent that chance. Colts eventually do get the puck down the other end on the power play, but just as that penalty is expiring, they're going to turn this puck over at the line, and Carnveer has to hold that player up as he was getting by him loose in the neutral zone. So another penalty for the Colts. So going from the power play right to the penalty kill here. But it won't last long. As you watch right in front of the net, right there, Riley gets a little pop in the mouth from that Richmond player as they were coming around to the back door. Ref standing right there sees it. So we're back to 4-on-4 hockey once again. And Richmond's going to crisscross with the puck and getting close for a shot, but there's a block by Linden, and then he's able to shove it out for a potential breakaway for Seth, but it looks like it might have hit him in the back. Unfortunate bounce for the Colts to not get a breakaway off of that block shot. Now here's Bryson finding Zach in front, and his shot gets blocked, but then there's a loose puck there that Jackson and Jesse are trying to find, but the goalie ends up covering it just at the goal line. Richmond's going to get a golden opportunity at the other end to extend their lead. That puck is loose in front, and Bryson comes across and gets his stick and legs in the way, prevents that from going into the empty net. And we haven't had a penalty in a while, so it must be time for one. Watching the right side of your screen as that player moves the puck up ice, he turns his back towards Arjun, who follows through with the hit, knocks him down. So that's going to be a checking from behind penalty on Arjun. And if one penalty is good, then 2 must be even better. So the ref's going to call another one here as Jesse's getting ridden into the wall. Somehow he is going to get the head contact penalty out of that. It's hard to see from here, but I guess he must have got his hands up as he was getting checked into the wall. So once again, Richmond 5-on-3. A glorious chance there, and again on the wraparound, but Max is standing tall and holding the door shut and keeping this a 1-goal game. And as the 5-on-3 continues, you see the Richmond player directing traffic, setting up the one-timer. So there it is, but Bryson with yet another block, and then Jackson is able to get it down the ice. But there's still more time in this 5-on-3, so Richmond's working it around. They're going to put it out high to that player in the high slot. He gets a shot off, and that knocks the stick right out of Max's hand. We see Patrick quickly pick it up, give it back to him, then get down there for the block attempt, forcing that shot wide. Some good 5-on-3 penalty killing by the Colts. And just as those penalties expire to put it back to even strength, Noah throws it down the ice to Jesse coming out of the box. It's just out of his reach, and the goalie's able to shoot it away. And as the clock is running down on this second period, there's always time for one more penalty as that Richmond player bumps into Max. And so Orson comes up from behind him and gives him the tiniest of cross checks to knock him down. And that's going to be yet another penalty for the Colts as we head to the third period. And in what will be a shocking development to most watching these highlight packages, we're going to move all the way towards the end of the period as there was no penalties or anything else. There's a good chance in front there by Noah, and then a player gets shoved over and no call by the referees. But his night's not over yet. First, we're going to see Noah trying to beat a defender, get around him, gets hauled down at the very last minute. So the ref's arm goes up. We have a delayed penalty with just a minute and a half left in the game. Colts down by 1. So they're going to maintain possession, pull the goalie for an extra attacker while they have possession and await the penalty call. This puck's eventually going to make it out to Orson. He's going to fire that at the net, and it's tipped right there at the last second by Jesse. This ties the game with a minute and 11 left. And that's going to be how this one ends. So the Colts don't get a win, but they do end the losing streak with a 4-4 tie here today. So let's have a look at the stats for the game. You see Max making 41 saves on 45 shots, so good outing for him. 2 points for both Mitchell and Jesse. Let's have a look at the overall stats now. Jesse within 9 now of Zach. And Seth and Zach remain tied for the team leading goals at 30. And so with the final regular season game in the books, the standings are now complete. This is how it will end. The Colts ending up in 9th place in Flight 2. That's good for 7th overall in the Tier 2 rankings, which means they will take on the 10th place team in a winner-take-all one-game first-round series. That will be February 7th against the Vancouver Thunderbirds A2 team. So we'll be here to show you that when it happens, and we'll see you then, folks.